Hey guys, what's up? This is Ron here and welcome to this beginner's guide to King of Fighters All-Star. And in this beginner's guide we are going to talk about dots in details. We are going to provide all the information that you need to know about dots. I'm going to talk about what are dots and what are the different type of dots, and I will also talk about what are the different type of dots available in different characters, and which characters I will also show you that which characters has some of these dots and which characters has no dots at all. And I will also talk about what is dot explosion, which is another important thing that you need to know. And I'll also show you some characters who have this dot explosion in their skills or cores. And finally, I am going to tell you that in which missions or in which game modes these dots will be useful to you, because to be honest my friends, dots are very much important and crucial to this game, and it really makes the difference from one character to another character. So make sure you watch this video till the end to know all the details about the dots and all the informations that you need to know. And make sure please subscribe to my channel and give a like to this video so you can get more informative King of Fighters All-Star videos like this. So let's just get into our topic. And first question is, what are dots? And dots basically stands for DoTs. That means damage over time. And actually it is not dots, it is dot. DOT, that is damage over time. That means whenever your character will hit the opponent, it will of course deal some damage, but if the character has dot in their damage skill, it will keep continuing damage even after the character is stopped and damaging. It will continuously decrease the HP of your character. So in this way, definitely dot or the characters who have dots is definitely going to deal more damage to your opponents. Let me just quickly show you by doing a skill preview of one of these characters. Let me just use this SSQO and just go to the skill preview section right here to show you the difference between dots and not dots. For example, this SSQO on his first skill, he has dot and he has actually burn dot. So whenever you use the skill, you see the character, the skill hits but the character is still burning, and whenever the character will be burning or whatever the dots will be applied, the character will still lose their HP, or their life or HP will keep on decreasing. And also again in this core finisher of this guy, we have another dot. As you can see, the finisher is finished but the dot is there. The character was yellow for a while, and this is basically what happens whenever you apply dots to your opponents. It will keep just applying more damages. Now let's come back to our second question, that is how many dots are there in the game. Currently in the game there are 6 type of dots, which are burn, chill, bleeding, poison, darkness and starlight. These 6 dots are available all through, but not all of the characters have these dots. And also another fact is, these dots are also known in different names. For example, burn is also known as infernal flame, and chill is also known as cold spell, bleeding is known as bloodshed, poison is known as venom, darkness is also known as blackout, and starlight is known as radiant. And these new names you will mostly see in relatively new characters in some cases. So but it doesn't matter what are the names. Basically the things are the same. Burn and infernal flame, though the name sounds a bit different, but they will do the same thing, that is to deal burn damage to your opponent. And same with the chill, cold spell, bleeding, bloodshed, poison, venom, darkness, blackout, or blah blah blah, same thing. And whenever you will apply a dot to your character, this dot will last for a certain amount of time. That can usually be 7 seconds. For example, let me just go to the characters and show you one of these characters who have dots. And let me just go to Ignis. He is one of the in-game characters and all of you have him, so it will be understandable for you to easily understand this thing. Now if we read through his skills, on his third skill, that is, he will going to deal bleed damage equal to 30% of attack to the target every 1 second for 7 seconds upon landing a skill. So the dot effect or bleeding effect in this case, in this character, will last for 7 seconds, and usually 7 seconds is an ideal mark for characters dots to last. But there are some exceptional characters. For example, Ignis here. Ignis actually will be able to do shock damage for 10 seconds. See, deal shock damage, 20% attack for every 1 second for 10 seconds. And that's a big difference, guys. Usually most characters will have this 7-second duration, but some exceptional characters, especially BS and SS characters, will or may have this extended time period, which is really important and very crucial. And whenever you see this type of abilities in some characters, which with having extended dots or extended time of dots, please consider that character as someone very important, because that is something unusual. Now the next question comes that what are some dot damage dealing characters? How do I know? I mean, we have all this bunch of characters right here, and it is kind of impossible for us to go through each of their skills and description and study. Though I recommend it, I personally do it. I study all of the character skill and their course in order to make their maximum use. But let me just show you a shortcut that you can use to determine your dot damage dealing character. For example, you are looking for burn or infernal flame damage dealing characters. So you just go to your characters from not this section, but from your story mode or any game mode. If you go to the from the fighter section, this will not be activated, I'm telling you, my friends. So if you go to this from here, you go to the characters, you deselect one character and you see this grade option right here. You expand this grade option and you see this view more option here. You tap on this view more and you see on the skill or core effect here, all of the dots are displayed. It starts from shock, chill, burn, darkness, poison, bleed, starlight, and finally dot explosion, which I am going to explain afterwards. Dot explosion is not necessarily a dot, but something that removes dot. So that was not included in the dots. This is why I decided to explain it later. So basically you can select any preferred dot character. For example, if you need burn, just click on burn here, click on the burn, and here you see all these characters are dealing burn damage either from their skills or cores or as a striker, maybe anything. So all of these characters will be able to do burn damage. So this is how this is how you can actually select your burn, darkness, or any dot that you prefer or you need to use. And this is a shortcut way if you don't have the time to study all these characters, their skills, their cores. but I do recommend that you should study their skills, because the dots are actually displayed whenever you study their skills. For example, this guy has burn in his first skill, and if you study the skills, you will see that whatever dots are available in each skills. Also, you need to study these core effects. Some of the characters are there who don't have dot in their, maybe don't have dot explosion or something in their skills, but in their core they have something. For example, let me just show you this character right here, Ignis, who has no darkness dot as dot in his skill. You will never find. All he has is shock and damage dealing, that's all. But if we go and study his cores, we will find that here, this is the ruler of darkness, and he is going to be darkness, he is going to be, personally he is going to be darkness immune, and he will continuously deal darkness to all of your opponents. That means you don't need to spend a particular skill. You basically have all of your skills, that is basic skill, active skill, whatever that is going to deal darkness. So whenever you see any sort of dot in those cores, consider that dot is going to be applied whenever or whatever active skill you apply to your opponent whatsoever. So that's this is how you can find the dot damage dealing characters easily. Now in the same way, I am going to show you that how can you find these dot explosion characters, and I will also explain that what this dot explosion thing is. And the dot explosion thing actually is something that is not itself a dot, but let me just show. Actually, I don't have many characters of dot explosion. Yes, I have just few of these characters with dot explosion. And for example, Leona here, she herself in her skill, she is doing venom damage, that is poison or venom, same thing, for certain amount of time in her skills, but she doesn't have dot explosion in her skills. Instead, she has dot explosion in her cores, and unfortunately her cores are yet unlocked, because I don't much use her. I have BS 0 original as a poison damage dealer, so I don't really have to rely on her. But here cores, as you can see, for example, on the final core here that says unknown rank, this is going to deal poison damage equal to a certain percent to the target when attacked, and 20% to deal 2 times of the remaining poison damage and remove poison damage effect. So basically the dot explosion is something that is going to remove the dot from the character and deal a huge amount of damage at the same time. So basically it is good for a reason, because for example, if you are applying dot to a certain character and then you are again applying the same dot, it will not double up. The rate of the dot will it will remain same. But if you have dot explosion and you can actually apply the dot, then use the dot explosion to remove the dot, then again apply the dot to deal more damages. So this is very useful. But unfortunately I don't have many characters who have this type of dot explosion, but I hope you have some good characters and they are really useful. And to be honest, not too many characters actually have this dot explosion effect, but fortunately in this recent Dead or Alive 6 collaboration, there are certain characters who have dot explosion, and I have reviewed them in my channel already. Go ahead and check them out, and go ahead and check your characters out and find that who of them has this dot explosion, and he or she will be definitely very useful. So by now you know that what are dots and what type of dots are available. Now what are the reason of these dots? I mean, I can do the damage to any characters without dots, but what is the specialty of these dots? Now this is the most important question, my friends, which I am going to discuss right now, that the application of the dots and the usefulness of the dots. And before I proceed further, just a request guys, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. This will help you out in the future. Trust me guys, you will thank me later. So let's go ahead and talk about the two most important places where you can actually use these dots. And first of them is guild. And actually guild is a place somewhere you will have to use different type of dots. For example, in easy mode you will need burn damage dealing dots, burn dots, and without burn dots it doesn't matter how much strong your character is, he or she will be able to do no damage at all. First you need to apply that burn damage to this Rugal, in this case, who is the guild boss right here, and of course it will be different from the Nightmare Geese because he requires different dots. But for Rugal in easy mode, all you need to apply the burn damage first, and for example if the burn damage lasts for 7 seconds, then you keep doing the damages, and within that 7 seconds this Rugal will receive the most amount of damage. But if you don't apply the dots, he will basically be not affected at all, simply not affected at all. So in this way, in normal mode you will need darkness as a dot, in hard mode again you will need burn as a dot. This is especially a very important game mode or guild mode for especially beginner players, because from this mode you are getting those gold impeded stones. So as a side question, if you ask me that I am a new player and what type of dots will be most useful for me, then my answer will be start with the burn dot, because you need to complete this hard mode in order to get those box number 5, which will contain those gold impeded stones. And once again for expert mode we need darkness as a dot, and for lunatic we will need starlight as a dot. And for this season dots are very much important, because without applying dots you will be able to do nothing in guild. Simple as that. First you need to apply the dots, then whatever you damage you need to do and break the meter and blah blah blah. But first you need to apply the required dot, and each of those stages that I described, you need to apply the required dot in every stages. Whenever it is asking for darkness, you need to apply darkness. If you apply burn, it will not work. Simple as that. So specific requirements for specific dots. So next let's go to the second place where we can use these dots with effectively. That is, for example, we go to the team relay challenge here, and this immortal boss here. For example, today we are having this immortal rock, and if we go to the strategy info, if you go to the strategy info, you can see that burn is the dot which is going to affect this character. So you need to have burn damage dealing characters in order to destroy this boss. So this is one place where dot plays a different role, a very important role, because there are a number of bosses out here, and each of the bosses will require different dots. Some will be vulnerable against bleeding, some will be vulnerable against chill damage, some against darkness, some against there is no Starlight boss whatsoever, but there are other dots are available, but burn is the dot which will affect this boss for now. So this is another place where you can use your dots, and once again another place I am going to show you where the dots are going to be useful, that is the Dungeon of Trials right here. This is the most least popular game mode right here, and here actually see that this boss is going to be take more damage whenever the boss is either chilled or shocked. That means whenever you are able to apply chill or shock to this boss and then you apply the damage, then this boss will receive the most damage. So basically these are the places where you can actually use these dots, but overall dots are very important to your character, and you will observe certainly that most and dominant character in the game right now, which are really considered as meta, are basically based on their dots. For example, let me show you some good characters right here. Is BS Igniz right here. He's based on shock and darkness, and he's a meta character. Kyo here, he's based on burn and radiant damage, which is Starlight, and also Usuually here, who has darkness and Starlight or radiant damage, whatever you say. So all of these meta characters right here, including I forgot to mention that BS Zero Origin also has bloodshed and poison or venom damage. So all these meta characters I said, including all other characters, I cannot mention all of them. You will see that most meta characters have almost double dots or at least single dots, and even the in-game fast characters, great characters like Ignis has bloodshed, bleeding, and Orochi 97 has burn in their skills. So dots are something that separates and makes the character more useful and more damage dealing against your opponent. It doesn't matter if they are some guild boss or any other story mode or whatever. So always try to prefer this type of character who has dots, and also you need to study your own game, that what type of dots are you actually needing right now, and based on that you should make your summon decisions or character selection decision or character improvement decision and everything. So I hope guys I have explained enough about what you need to know regarding the dots. I talked about what are the dots and what are the different type of dots, and I talked about how to get or how to select those characters which have dots. I also talked about dot explosion and how dot explosion works, and finally I talked about what are the places where, what are the important missions where you can use these dots and get those benefits. I hope this video was informative for you guys in some ways. If this video helps you, please leave a comment or give this video a like or subscribe to my channel, because I'll be getting back with more important videos regarding each and every topic of the game that you need to know if you are a beginner or intermediate player or whatever. Hope to see you guys soon in some other videos. Till then, stay awesome, stay safe, peace out.